and we've been on Proverbs chapter 5. I really wanted to move to Proverbs chapter 6 today because uh we're emphasizing about the same thing, 18 going to 19. But some I still feel we need to do this one more short in verse 5 before we move on to chapter 6 tomorrow. Do this one last short on chapter 5 before we go to chapter 6 tomorrow. And it's still staying with verse 18 going to 19. It reads that let your fountain be blessed and rejoice in the wife of your youth. And we've been talking about the need to rejoice in what you have, rejoice in who you are. Don't despise what you have. You know, we made mention is the 10th commandment: do not covet. Do not covet, that which is your neighbor's. One of the times I lost a lot of money, and I went into depression, as along with that was me just thinking that other people were better than me, not having the full details of their life. I just pretty much compared my weakness to their strength. That's what we do when we do comparison, because people don't expose to us their weakness. Everybody's going up with their strength, especially in this today's world of social media. Nobody's going to post their dirty linen in public. They're all going to want to look nice. Oh, it's this, I'm that. Nobody posts their weaknesses, on social media. So when you're then comparing your life, when you are despising that which you have, you are comparing your weakness, your shortcomings with someone else's strength, someone else's good side. You're always going to come short, right? You're always going to be depressed. You're always going to think that God has forgotten you, God has forsaken you. That's the evil heel of comparison, right? Life is not about comparison. Life is about knowing who you are, knowing what you have, treasuring what you have, and begin to nurture what and who you are, right? You are never going to develop your life or win by that which someone else has. You're only going to win with what you have. What do you have? My mind goes to David. David had to confront Goliath, and Saul was saying, "Oh, take my hammer, take my dress," But David wasn't comfortable in that. He was not working smartly because he was wearing another person's armor. He was putting up that which is another person, not that which is his, tried and tested. He could not fight Goliath in that wise. That's the foolishness, what the foolishness we see in ourselves, trying to use another person's armor to fight the details of our life. No, no, that's a foolishness of comparison. That's a foolishness of looking at the grass being greener on the other side than our own. It's your grass that you win life with. It's your grass that you win life with. You have to treasure. You have to accept what you have. Whatever that is, wherever that is, you have to accept it and make it better. When you make it better, that is what you will win life with. You are not going to win in this life wearing another person's armor. You are not going to win this life by converting another person's wife, house, children, uh, business, strength, armory, whatever. You are only going to win in this life. You're only going to get to the place of fulfillment by treasuring that which you have, and not that which you have tomorrow, that which you have today, right? If your today is the foundation of your tomorrow. Without today, there is no tomorrow, right? It is treasuring where you are today, who you are today, whatever that might be, right? It doesn't have to be the best. It might be that you are in the pit. You have to accept that first of all. Accept the pit that you are in, your limitations, because that is your foundation for coming out of the pit. You have to appreciate where you are. And only then can you begin to walk your way out of the pit with what you presently have, right? That is the way to life. That is the way to win in life. It is not being overly desirous of what someone else has. It is accepting what you have and warring with it. Let's